I'm getting an unfair trial because it's repetitive.
What can I do to help you to honestly, to God, to help me, like, cause bro, like, and so then this is opportunity.
Hold on, bro is crying right now? Day 65 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial was painful. The judge blames the defense for not objecting to the Daubert hearing in a timely manner. Then later on, we finally see the video of Walter D.K. Murphy snitching. This expert detective that's on the stand is here for the rest of the week apparently, and it's incredibly boring. Not only did Walter snitch, but he also cried. Like physically was crying and snitching. Yeah, hit subscribe, here we go.
He also said that he was high, and the jury can look, he does not appear to be high.
Oh, they're saying Walter DK was lying about being high in his interviews and doesn't remember anything.
Detective Dennis says that's why if it's trying to bust your head open. He doesn't say, I don't know what you're talking about. He says, yeah.
Murphy testified in front of the jury that there was a conflict between IF and YSL, and he got into a lot of fights. I don't think it's a prior consistent statement.
I'm going to, again, deny that, Mr. Steele. I give you a continuing objection, okay?
The entire statement is a contradiction to what he said on the stand. Within that interview that you were afraid of getting smoked for being false flagging, and he didn't indicate that he had. And she said, didn't you say you were afraid that Jeffrey Williams' father had seen you as the officer pulled up? Jeffrey Williams' father saw the officer pull up the mask.
To go through what is inconsistent, that's what I sent to everybody this past Saturday. I'll be moving for mistrial, which, I presume will not be granted, but I'll protect the record. I don't think that the court should be giving a limiting instruction to tell the jurors decide what is or isn't inadmissible. But here's the entirety of this recording.
Brian Steele's moving for another mistrial over the statements of Walter. The judge isn't going to care. None of this is going to get granted. He even knows that.
He talks about the history of YSL as he knows it. He talks about what it's like in jail. And again, he's cooperating. So to get in that he believed he'd be killed and threatened is just the state's way of trying to, and they've already gotten it out of witnesses.
Yeah, it's cumulative. I can see his side of this. The state has definitely done stuff that could be considered cumulative at this point with witnesses. They have like 5 experts coming in, testifying to the same exact thing, pretty much. Like, what the f are we doing with 5 of the same expert?
I'll let it be played over your objection. I'll give you a continuing objection on that issue, okay?
I just keep going back. We're talking about exposing the jurors to a plethora of information that's not admissible under the rules of evidence, and then just suggesting.
What rules of evidence are you talking about? What are you saying is not admissible?
Statements that are not inconsistent.
All right, we've gone through that already. This is about the 4th time from you, and I understand that.
There's a mechanism.
You're not waiving anything, but
there's a mechanism where the state can easily just ask Investigator Gaither.
But they don't choose to do it that way, Mr. Schardt. We're going to just disagree on that.
He believes Shannon is the most on the go because he believes Shannon wants to prove himself to Mr. Williams without letting other members, specifically Crip members, get all the credit within the crew. That is a lot of speculation. That is also bad character evidence.
Who is the most ongoing? He said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you mean. Impeaching him by prior inconsistent statement. What he says is based on his observation, who is the most on go. So that's not speculation. That is, in this interview, his observation of who is the most on go out of the crew.
So both sides just arguing over these prior inconsistent statements. Defense lawyers don't like the way they're bringing it in. The state's basically saying, F you, and the judge is definitely going to rule in favor of the state, like always.
And it shows the existence of the enterprise, Your Honor. And so that is something we have to prove. That's something I specifically asked him in court. He denied it. And therefore, the state believes we can play his statement that he gave to police.
Your Honor, they cannot just bootstrap wholly inadmissible, prejudicial, bad character evidence in just by asking about a statement previously, it being denied, and then saying, okay, now we get to play it. Joe is a murderous maniac who killed 5 people in Iowa. That would be wholly inadmissible in this trial. But they can't just say, didn't you say Joe was oh no, I didn't say anything about Joe. Okay, now we just want to play it. It has to have a basis in admissibility. And they're just trying to say everything's a prior inconsistent statement.
No, it's impeachment. It's impeachment by contradiction.
But Your Honor, just because
as well.
something fits into one rule, if it's inadmissible under other rules.
Well, that's why I rule on things.
Okay,
I mean, so yes, I understand that.
How is this bad character evidence against Shannon Stillwell being entered into this case?
It's not. You may think of it as character, but it goes for another purpose.
It is character, though. The jury hearing that Shannon Stillwell was always on go, meaning he's a shooter, like he's willing to go shoot people.
Okay, so here's the way it goes. The state is going to qualify her. There's no requirement for there to be a pre-admit hearing for that. Your colleagues attempted to ask me to do that yesterday. I was not of the opinion to do that. I gave all of you the opportunity to voir dire the witness before the court made a determination of whether or not she would be tendered and qualified as an expert. None of you took the court up on that because up to that point in time, I had not ruled that she could be qualified as an expert. So for that reason, I'm going to deny the motion at this point in time.
We all knew that was coming. I still don't understand why they let a Daubert hearing happen in front of the jury.
And this particular witness's background would lead her to be qualified, but the state still had to do that in front of the jury for me to make an expert determination.
The court made that determination without the hearing, and then
which I didn't need to do, and you all disagreed. I get it.
So anyway, the way then sequentially dishonorable court, as Detective Gaither was about to testify, gave that instruction, which you gave 2 times previously, and then the state is qualifying Detective Gaither. Brian Steele, I took that as...
No, but that wasn't. You had the right to voir dire the witness before the state proffered her or accepted. The court said she was an expert. You had the opportunity to fully examine her, because you know what would happen if they would not have qualified this witness pursuant to DAUBERT 702. I would have excluded her. You would probably move to have her excluded as a witness, an expert witness, which I would have granted. But that didn't happen. And I asked all of you whether or not you wanted to take advantage of that. So
what I'm trying to say,
you waived that issue at that point.
To ask the questions in front of the jury, the probing questions that this honorable court has allowed on every other DAUBERT witness.
But why didn't you do it? I mean, because you could have done that. And that was the danger for the state asking me to do that at that point. Because had they not gone ahead and qualified that witness, they would have fallen flat in front of this jury, not having a witness that was qualified.
Well, I would have fallen flat in front of the jury because
But you had that right, sir.
I'm just trying to get out my statements.
Yeah, you're interrupting him. This is ridiculous. The judge is blaming the defense now for all this.
Questions I would have asked are occurring in front of a jury. It would have asked her, on the basis of knowledge, where is the gang book that you don't have, that she's relied upon, that Detective Belknap relied upon, that we can't, for whatever reason, I don't know.
I think nobody's actually brought a gang book as of yet.
But you told me, I asked for it, you told me.
If they have it, they need to tender it, yes.
I have nothing. The questions specifically about Mr. Williams and how you separate, just like I did with Detective Belknap. How do you separate a law?
Aren't you going to cross her on as to that?
I'm not going to cross her. I already did it with Detective Belknap. I don't have to repeat. So my point is, there was absolute candor always with the court. I did take it as a fait accompli because I don't know why.
No, but that's not true, sir. And that's a misstatement and a mischaracterization. You're telling me that I've already made up my mind at that point in time. It was all but a certain conclusion. It was not, sir. That's not the way that this court looks at its role as the gatekeeper and its role as a referee.
Well, I understand you're offended.
I am offended because it's not true in terms of what you were given.
Well, I'm going to tell you I'm offended because no other time in this trial have you given a instruction to the jury before you found somebody expert to say this person's going to give expert and lay testimony. So as a listener, it was already a fait accompli because you already instructed the jury that that witness was going to provide expert and lay.
Did you object at that point in time?
Your Honor, I believe.
Did you object at that point in time?
I believe you already.
Did you object at that point in time, sir? I'm asking you a question. Did you object to at that point in time saying, Judge, she hasn't been qualified as an expert as of yet? I don't think you should read that instruction as of yet.
It would have been frivolous to say.
But you didn't object though, did you?
Listen, I'm not playing.
I know I'm not. I'm asking you. Look,
there's nothing but candor in my motion, always with the court. I love this court. I'm not attacking you. I'm telling you how it appeared to a reasonable person.
Sir, but that's not true. That was not true in terms of the way and the what you have been given in this case. The court made a ruling. Like I said, I rule the way I see it. I mean, I have no interest in this case. In fact, I tell the jury that when I charge them. I don't.
Your Honor, I cannot find another case. The DAUBERT hearing was held in front of the jury. I cannot find it.
Okay. All right, sir.
Your Honor, there's no need for this witness to be an expert. All she's doing is corroborating and supporting her coworker. This is like a vouching improperly. This is like another summation, and it's coming from one of the case agents or lead detectives.
Every day this fucking trial blows my mind. Miss Gaither does not need to be there as an expert. They should only have one gang expert, because if all of them have the same training and they're co-workers, what's the point of having 5 of them? Tell me now.
The exact same things. You've heard nothing. I challenge it. I put it in paragraph. I put it in 2 different paragraphs. Gaither is giving the same identical testimony as when you qualified Detective Belknap. So I moved to strike the testimony because it is repetitive, cumulative, and prejudicial. Because these detectives being couched in expert and lay testimony, there is a real significant danger that the case law tells us about. You get basically multiple summations or closing arguments for the state. It's called an AURA, A-U-R-A, special reliability and trustworthiness. Now the state wants to do it 3 more times because I have no report on any of them why they should be different. And the Honorable Court did order their gang experts.
I did, but remember, we've gone down this road several times already. If they prepare a report, you'll get it.
That all reports, including gang experts, they must be written. So this way we understand what is the difference between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
The reason why they haven't been written is because the state knows if they write out 4 or 5 gang experts, they're all going to be the exact same. There's not going to be any difference.
I'm getting an unfair trial because it's repetitive, bolstering. I don't know, but it's the state's theory of the case.
And the jury's free to believe or don't believe. Well, that would have been a challenge for me at that point in time, but you didn't object to it. But yes, you're absolutely right. It probably would have been something that I would have probably had to think about.
Admitting that it's something he would have had to think about and not shown the jury, but he just said, I'll just see if the defense objects to it and see if it goes through. What is this judge doing, bro?
I still gave you the opportunity to voir dire the witness, and make that particular record prior to my ruling.
And I've waived that opportunity intelligently, knowingly, because the jury was here.
Yeah, they didn't want to do it in front of the jury, all of that.
Out of the presence of the jury, hearing to determine expertise, and you said no.
I know that, and I made that decision. I did.
With that being said, I would like you to strike former Detective Gaither's expert testimony is nothing but cumulative.
Then file a motion on that.
When this motion is strike, reported expert Gaither's testimony and to prevent any additional expert quote-unquote testimony from supposed gang experts from the City of Atlanta Police Department. The reason is we're not having like an expert from Canada and then an expert from California, and then an expert from City of Atlanta Police Department. They should all be the same. They work together. It's like saying Keith Adams and Brian Steele. You put us up, we're going to have the same ideas on this case.
Those two experts have two very different backgrounds. They are testifying about two very specific sets of facts that are different. For instance, Detective Belknap interacted with Trontavious Stevens quite a bit.
They should just be testifying as detectives, not gang experts, and giving a bunch of other background about Chicago. Why did we need to talk about Chicago for 35 minutes last week?
What about Mr. Steele's assertion that there's no report, it's repetitive, it's cumulative, and it's vouching? Because some of the stuff does have overlap.
Yep, it does have overlap. A lot of overlap in this trial on the state side.
People that they encounter will overlap, but their experiences are unique to each expert themselves.
Is there any reason why Detective Gaither did not author a report?
The summaries of the investigations that she did that are included within the discovery that we have given to the defense.
So you didn't give a report. And why is the court audio so low? I'm gonna have to edit this and try to finesse this audio, of course.
Then that was turned over in discovery already, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But do they have an official expert report? That's what they want, Miss Love. She's just saying they gave it to them in discovery about what Miss Gaither experienced.
I don't believe when we hear from gang experts, they usually have a report.
They have not had
I haven't had one in my almost 20 years as a Superior Court judge. But
honestly, that's a clear indicator that a gang expert is bullshit. If there's no official report of this expert, because they just yap about whatever they think gangs are.
some of this stuff is repetitive, and the court's not going to let you just go through it in whole cloth over again. So you need to be since a foundation's kind of been laid already as to some of this, it needs to be more focused. The next three folks.
So the next 30 minutes is Detective Gaither narrating the Walter DK thing where he was about to shoot at this car right here with an assault rifle and shit, and then they ended up shooting someone in the head. And this video, she's narrating this for 30 minutes, and the defense does not like her narrating this, by the way, because she wasn't a witness there.
What is Mr. Allison doing?
Looks like he's purchasing something.
Is he doing so in a hurried manner, for the record, or in a leisurely manner, for the record?
I stand objection.
What, Miss Love?
Do you observe his mannerisms as hurried, leisurely, or something else?
I stand objection.
So this is an interview of DiAngelo White, the guy that is in prison that was a witness that didn't want to be there last week. He was like, why is I'm here? This case got nothing to do with me. So apparently he did low-key snitch on Walter Murphy. He identified Walter and circled him.
The rapper Young Thug? Yeah. Alright, the rapper Young Thug to the man who was in front of him. So I guess he thought we was pushing up on him, trying to either rob him or do something to him and set him up. But we're not knowing, we don't even know who it is in front of him. We just driving. And they got out of the car with AKs and sticks.
So this DiAngelo White guy is giving the police a lot of information about this whole situation.
And we got pulled out of the car. He was still talking, even though the bullet was in his head. He was still talking, and blood was coming down. He still talking though. They couldn't be from the goddamn. They couldn't be from the passenger side or from the back passenger side. It had to be either. It couldn't be the driver. Neither it had to be the person behind the driver.
He's actually wrong on that detail. It was the driver that shot Montgomery in the head. So now we go on a 2-hour comfort break or lunch. It's all about Walter DK's attempted murder, who isn't in the courtroom, and he took a plea. So I mean, like, they're just trying to prove YSL is a gang enterprise, and it's tedious, and I'd kill myself if I was on this jury, dude.
Are you able to see what type of shell casing that is?
It looks like one from an assault rifle.
Oh my god, she knows what type of shell casing it is. Oh my god, that's very informative for the jury. Wow.
We showed him the lineup. We wanted him to, if he could, pick out a person that he knew was responsible for shooting his friend. He began to, what I felt like, try to extort for some money to do the right thing, asking for $20 to pick a person out.
I heard him say $20. I didn't know that was him requesting $20. Bro asked for $20 to snitch. That is crazy.
I'm not going to pay you to do the right thing. You going to do it? I told him then, just show me where the shooting happened. He basically get the F out of my car. I mean, I'm not going to go back and forth about paying you to just do the right thing for your friends. So that was the gist of it.
And that amount that he wanted was how much?
$20. Identified Walter Murphy, aka DK, as person with assault rifle. This is what we call a photographic lineup.
Which person is circled out of these 6 people who are depicted here?
Walter Murphy.
And who placed the circle around Walter Murphy's head?
DiAngelo White.
Are there any initials or other markings to identify that person as having been circled by DiAngelo White?
Yes, he put his initials here.
Bro was up on the stand going, I'm ready to go back to prison. Why is I'm here? Because you were circling people, motherfucker. Even though I don't know if he's a gang member or civilian, but I mean, you know, gang members can't be circling people, you know what I'm saying? Civilians can. I'ma circle your ass. So this looks like Walter Murphy right here.
I understand that I have a reputation for background for being Young Thug. You Young Thug's brother, his blood brother? No, not his blood brother, but like his childhood twin. Okay, so you got his brother's young brother. But before, I say, I don't want to say, I got baby on me in August. I ain't even did. Man, I just had bad surgery. I broke my spine. I got 7 weeks for lawsuit in like a week and a half. I'm not trying to go to jail. So whatever y'all got next week about whoever, I've worked with police before. Like I told him,
I've worked with police before.
he didn't have on no mask before I pulled up. What are you talking about? I have worked with police previously. That's how you know that I know the officer with a mask on. Well, I don't know who you talking about. When you just said not forgot his name, it's been so long.
He doesn't seem like he's slurring his words or high. I mean, he could be on like a upper or something, but detectives entered the room. This man started snitching immediately. No soda, no sandwich, no McDonald's, nothing.
You know, I'm just gonna be honest with you from the start. I don't want to trick you, say one thing and it's not. So, we gonna get to that. I'm gonna let you make a phone call.
Bro's begging for a phone call already.
That's what I'm saying. This is
Hold
opportunity.
up, bro is crying right now. This man was running around with an AR about to shoot people with an AR at a gas station trying to rob people. He's admitted to robbing multiple people, but and he in here crying, snitching immediately.
I'm saying, who were you with? You said we. I was with. Who was I with? I was with Bentley.
Ooh, gave them Bentley's name off rip.
There more than one incident where somebody was shot. At that gas station? Or leaving the gas station? Shot. No, I didn't know nobody got shot, man. And that's on my right hand of God. I did not know nobody got shot.
I don't know if I believe that. How do you not know someone got shot? Like that should probably everywhere in the news that someone got shot on that road. And it's right in their area where they live. Like that's cap.
She verbalized it to you. Yeah, I said that's because who made the call to you? Benny came and got me. He said he got you. Yes, Benny did not come get you, bro. We're gonna get you. I'm not in that car.
So at first he's trying to say Bentley came and got him, but that's a lie. He's trying not to snitch on Nard right here. So at one point he switches up on Nard and snitches on him.
That made me kill, bro. Him putting that mask on and throwing out, bro. Just that made me kill. So, I mean, y'all saying this like, bro.
Why is he not like this cop putting a mask on in front of him or something? Like he's saying that thug's dad seeing that could get him killed. Like I'm a f***ing idiot. I'm probably missing the point of that, but
I don't know what to do myself right now. Y'all saying, man, like, I know what happened today. Okay, how do I call somebody saying that these folks found out? Okay, yeah, we pulled up. Bro, I didn't know nobody got shot. He got shot right here. He got shot right here. I still call him. His goal is going. And then that's why I'm dead. They feel like I talk. You know, they didn't do it. Y'all did it. I'm standing killing people.
he actually does seem like he could be on drugs. Like it could just be because he's emotional and scared, but he's like kind of tweaking a little bit. It seems like, but
right now, I'm killed. You haven't said anything. I mean, I listened to it. Listen. When this get in the courtroom, man, I need you to just be at the stove. What's wrong with that stove? I'm gonna get to his face. Like, bro, you're 8. Let's put it at work right now.
not only did DK snitch, but I didn't know this man was crying snitching, bro. Like, come on.
What can I do to help you? To honestly, to God, to help me, like, cause bro, like, I don't know if you got it, I don't know that, bro, but Grace, you know, people and shit.
I think he's saying he's gonna die in Rice Street right there, but you can't really hear him. He just said, "Let me help you," to the police, bro. This man's snitching.
There's nothing you can do to help me. No, you can do stuff to help you. No, but I'm gonna clear it out.
That's a lie. This detective lying. He can definitely help her. The most obvious detective tactic is them trying to say that they can help you. No cop is trying to help you while they're interrogating you.
They will take out their own people.
She said they'll take out their own people, meaning YSL. So I think he just said, yeah. This detective got a backwards Bulls hat on right now. She really trying to swindle these guys, acting like she's like their friend and shit. Wonder what Thug thinking, seeing his best friend snitch on camera and everything.
Scared what I might tell y'all, or what I can tell y'all. They don't get killed, bro. Well, just how much I know. Have you told them before they found out? So why would they think that this way now? I'm just deliver you this person that was driving and like get like go free. Like, I can't promise you that you're gonna go free because I would be more or less becoming fine, like wearing the white and all that. I would be more or less concerned with.
So legit, the last 2.5 hours was just the footage of Walter DK basically snitching. Although the audio was terrible, couldn't even really hear a lot of it. It's trial, bro. Each day I'm just, it just kills me. Hit subscribe, join the channel membership. Love you guys. Thanks for support. Peace out.